And the great thing about Natren is they have the species separated out into individual bottles. Because as you know, with probiotics, the big sell right now is, 7 species all in one jar, 11 strains, and 6 billion, 10 billion, 11 billion. They're all in competition for the number of species they can put in the same jar, the same capsule, and the number of CFU. Like the higher the number, the better. And this is all banking on the misinformation and miseducation of the consumer. So I spent about 3 years researching probiotics, and I went to source, I went to the immunology journals, I went to the microbiology journals and pulled the science from there. And so here's a couple of really key things. First of all, for probiotics to have a therapeutic effect, the person needs to consume a minimum of 7 to 10 billion CFU per day. So they can take the right species, they can take the right strain, but if they're not getting enough, they won't see a result. But now let's flip back to the person with IBD. Here's where it gets sticky. If you take someone with active colitis or Crohn's, and you give them 7 to 10 billion a day, you'll trigger them into a flare because they've got too much bad stuff going on in their gut, and the die-off alone could put them in the hospital. So here's what we do with the Natren, and why we love it, because it's separated into single species powders, because when someone is really ill, maybe they can tolerate bifido, but they can't tolerate acidophilus. So you can't give them a combined product because it's not going to work for them. So the one that we found is if the person tends towards diarrhea, try them with bifido, and if they're really sick, go to the baby form of bifido, which is the B. infantis. And in the Natren line, that's called Life Start, and get the one that's cultured on goat milk for maximum tolerance. And some of my people, they have to start with 1 pinch a day, not even 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1 pinch. And maybe they're on that for 2 to 3 weeks. And when they've built tolerance to that, they move up to 1/8 of a teaspoon of the B. infantis, the Life Start probiotic. And when they've built tolerance to that, a 1/4 teaspoon, then 1/2 teaspoon. When they're tolerating that, then you move them onto the adult bifido species, which is called bifidofactor. And you would start them again way back at 1/8 of a teaspoon, or maybe even just a pinch to start with. And it's really important to tell your people to listen to your body, because if you go too fast and you get a die-off, you're going to feel like crap and you're going to think, well, that didn't work. No, it did work. It was killing stuff. Yeast alone, when it dies, releases 168 different toxins. We're talking stuff that would make a normal person feel sick. For someone already in a highly sensitive state, it makes them very sick. So they have to go slowly.